So I'm going to have you just turn your head to the right. Just there you go. Perfect. That look okay? Good. All right, you're just going to hear me talk about what I'm getting ready to do, okay? So we've got a edentulous space here in tooth number 10 area. We've got an implant already in number 9. We've got some soft tissue loss. Obviously, had some bone loss just because we got an extraction. What we want to do is prevent ourselves from going into the soft tissue space where tooth number 9 is. So what we're going to basically do is a T type of incision, where we're going to make a slightly lingual incision here, right, which is basically the width of the blade, and just barely come over, and then we're going to stay about a millimeter away.
Your hand's lower.
Better?
Yeah, that's better.
Stay about a millimeter away from the implant so we don't disrupt that soft tissue.
That looks good.
Okay? And we're just going to go into the sulcus here just a little bit. All right, and then we're just going to trace our steps here just a little bit with our curved blade. Make sure all the soft tissue is gotten through. Because as you know, we need to get a nice clean dissection all the way down to the periosteum. So, I think that should do it. We have the what's in 1, please. So now I'm going to use an instrument to push off this lingual soft tissue just enough so we can see the lingual portion of the bone. And then we're going to pull this soft tissue out facially. So I'm going to have Karen go ahead. I like to protect the soft tissue here, mainly the lip, so that as we're pulling here, in case the instrument should slip because the soft tissue gives, we don't end up with an injured lip. So now we're able to visualize the bone right on the crest of the ridge. That should give you a nice well, so now we got to look at the angle of our cuspid, the angle of our implant here, so that we can make sure we're right where we need to be. Now, if we look at our facial of our bone, right, that's coming like so. Here's our lingual bone. So now we want to be right like so, and that will take us, that looks like we're pretty much right down the middle of 9 and 11. And this is our lance drill. All we're going to do,
Water and vibration, Dave.
all we're going to do right now is try to get a good solid entry into our bone. You're doing great, bud.
I'll suction in the back here in a second.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to suction in the back.
You're doing great, partner. Everything's going really well. Okay? So now we've got our, again here, we're just going to stay right on that same line. And we'll use our pilot drill. I'm just going to go straight up and down here. Beautiful. Now,
Suction in the back.
we're going to take this pilot drill and we're going to put it in the jawbone, and we're going to take an x-ray to verify that we're in the right spot between the implant and the natural tooth.
Don't lay down, Dave.
All right, now you can close down. All right. Again, just making sure we're following what the jawbone's doing, right? Now we're right in the center of this ridge again. That looks good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right, cool. Again, we're just trying to very good. So one of the things that, we're looking at our CEJs here, we typically want to be a couple of millimeters apical to that. So if we look at where the bone is, it's about a millimeter. So we're probably going to try to place this about a millimeter subcrustal or so, just from a standpoint of trying to make sure that we are using all the parameters that we have from a static placement.
11 and a half.
All right, so this is the palcop line for the Keystone Genesis. So we're going to, this is a 3.0 by 11 and a half. Open just a little, bud. Thank you. Sorry. All right. So again, just use your eyeballs and you can see that this is just splitting the difference here between 9 and 11. Is this on infinity, Karen?
There's no torque on that one.
Okay.
Not really sure why they make it that way, but
Yeah, well, we're well over.
yep.
So pull the soft tissue back. You have to suction. So you can see here we're literally just right at the crest of the ridge, but remember, from an aesthetic standpoint, we got to make sure we got the ability to build a tooth out of this. So we're gonna make sure that our flat of our hex is going directly out to the facial, and it is. I'm just trying to get an idea whether or not I'm apical enough, and I think I want to go down just a bit more. All right. All right, cool. Beautiful. So we are where we need to be. That looks fabulous. So hopefully, can they see in there?
They could see right in the implant, but not in your mirror.
They can see right straight in here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So because we have torque value, we'll be able to put a healing abutment on it today. That will enable us to have him heal. We got literally fantastic torque value, and that's kind of what you want for an initial placement. Everything looks wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to place a healing abutment. We're going to put that through a PRF plug, and then we're going to seat this, then we're going to manipulate the soft tissue over top of it. Then we're going to let him heal for 4 months, and then we'll start building the tooth. So just exactly as planned. Now this was a tooth that was extracted a number of months ago. A graft was done, and we've got a really excellent result from the graft. It maintained our buccal plate. It maintained the height of bone, and that's a huge thing for us when we're looking at upper anteriors. That's one of the things that is really hard, is maintaining soft tissue, maintaining buccal plate of bone. Well, you got a shorter hex driver. I don't know if I can use it or not, but for the reason that is turning in there. So give me the Woodson one first. I don't know why that's wanting to pop out of there, but it did. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take our 2x2 and let's push and press. All right. Yep. So again, we gotta manipulate the soft tissue around this. We're just gonna kind of cut a little V or cut a little U, so we can now suture this to the lingual, and then we'll press this PRF membrane down a little bit more. Okay. So now we're just going to go ahead and take our suture. So now this will take and create our papilla area on the mesial.
Thank you.
Push right there. Yep. Well, I think that pulled on the lingual cura. It
Yep.
did. Yep. So we didn't have as Didn't have as good a bite on the pal as we thought we did. Well, did it again, Karen.
Yes, it did.
No idea why that's happening, but so again. That doesn't make much sense, but we're going to have to figure out a different location for that suture to go in.
You're in the loop.
That's what I was trying to avoid. Apparently I didn't. I just wonder whether or not where we tied it was in the incision line. That's different. That's more gooder. That's probably what it was. All right. What's in one? Really got to get that lip better, Karen. That's not gonna.
I don't think you're trying to get lingual tissue right now, though, are you?
Nope, I'm not trying to get lingual tissue. Not at all. Just trying to get through so I can get into the. So you can see here our part of our PRF membrane is sticking above the tissue, which is not a big deal. Got half of it below and half of it above. So we'll just compress that, and that'll just help that heal up really well. Alright, cool. So, now I got things sutured. Now we're just going to have him bite on some gauze, and then it'll compress that PRF plug, and then we'll get a post-op x-ray.